All right, so that was the video part of the show, and now is when we just sit around and talk conspiracies. I'm going to bring up the feed on my phone here so I can see what you guys have commented. Comment now anything you want to talk about. I've got some stuff written down in case it takes a while for there to be a comment or in case nobody's here because I can't even see that right now. But um, yeah, comment anything you want to talk about, and that would help me out. So here's that. Let me share it to my page. 7 shares. Thank you for sharing if you've shared this. And if not, please share. And go to my YouTube channel, Me on Things and Stuff. I'll add a link to this feed here in a minute. And share my videos from there. That would help me out a whole lot. That's all I really ask. I want to grow my YouTube channel. So right now my goals are very small. I want to grow my YouTube channel and I want to be in an interview on Tim Black's show. I don't want to be a caller. I want to be an actual guest is what I want to be. I mean, I may be a caller. I could call Tim Black. I mean, it's not outside of the realms of possibility. But I'd like to be a guest on the show, a featured guest. Hell, I'd like to have him on my show. I'd like to learn how to do OBS correctly so that I could show my whole feed or my actual screen. This is the best I can do because I can't stream from OBS. See, it should just be this part right here to where the black bars are. That's all you should see. But you shouldn't see those gray bars or the top. But you're seeing it because I can't get it any better than that. That's the best I can do. So I just shared the video. Now let me look. I'm looking here for comments now. I just now got around to that. For those of you who were waiting on that link, I'm probably going to have to do that after the video. I'm computer inept. It took me too long to get on here. It's crazy to look back on things. Politics and stuff says that. Cindy, I think. Yeah, it is. I want to do one on JFK, but it's so complicated. And Paul threw all this new information at me last time I did a video, and I got to look into all that now. So there's just way too much with JFK. He just clearly wasn't killed the way we were told, you know? Oh, it looks cool. Thank you. This is the best I can do. Does the lighting look better? If anybody watched the earlier feed, I changed the lighting. You may not even be able to notice it. I still can't get the shadow off my eyes, but I'm hoping that it looks better. And I hope that the audio was decent on that feed. But it looks like I got a couple people here. If you want to talk about anything, just comment anything you want. Right now is when you guys would talk and tell me what you want to talk about. While I wait for comments, I'm going to talk about some stuff that I have coming up, I guess. I'm working on a video on Fukushima. I have a pretty progressive group of friends, and this is coming out from politics and stuff, so people are pretty up on things that are fans of our page and that watch these kind of videos. But your average person might not know that there was a terrible nuclear disaster at the Fukushima nuclear plant in Japan that has been leaking into the ocean for decades and will never stop and can't be stopped and is poisoning all the sea life. It's giving them mutations, and it's not funny, but I'm doing a video on that because I think there needs to be more exposure. But who knows about that? No one talks about that. This is still ongoing, and it can't be stopped. Nothing can be done about what's leaked and what's continuing to be leaked. But you don't hear about that on your news. What do you hear about? You hear about Russia. That's bullshit. Russiagate. Cool story, bro. Yeah, there is no way. That is just bullshit. Now I don't like Trump. and I hate having to defend him. I'm not defending him. I'm defending the truth. You know, it's not the same thing as defending Trump. But what was I saying? I got distracted because I have to explain that I don't want to defend Trump. Oh, the Russiagate is bullshit. I would love for Trump to be impeached, but it's not going to be over Russiagate. It's naive to think that it will be. Let me fix this. This is too big. Let me make it a little smaller and move it down. There we go. So Russiagate is just, it's supposed to be random. We just saw that picture. I have like 50 pictures on this slideshow. All right. Yes, that was me, Cindy. She says, "Cool. I made the correct guess." If you're watching live, there was no DJ doing that. I every once in a while stutter phrases. Some people stutter words. I stutter phrases. All right. Let's see. We got any politics and stuff? Says sometimes you go live at the same time as Tim. Is this one of them times? I have no idea when Tim Black goes live. I should, but I don't watch him when he first goes live. Like I end up watching it later. I don't know. So I never pay attention to what time the live feed is because it don't matter to me. I'm gonna watch it no matter what. It's new to me. But I'm thinking I'm on the same time as Tim Black right now. I'm on the same time as somebody. That's okay. It's all right. I'm not going to concern myself with views. That's not why I'm doing this. I did this because I like doing it and because I wanted to test out the new lighting and I wanted to test out if that worked for audio. Because that was me playing audio on my phone and the screen save on my other screen share on my screen for the video. So it was a little off because it was on two devices and I didn't have it lined up good. Maybe I'll get better at that. Hopefully I'll just get a speaker. But what I mostly wanted to know is the lighting better. But I wrote down more topics. We're going to have a full show. And even if there's only one person here, if it's just me and Cindy, she's at work, she needs something to listen to, I'm going to give her something to listen to. Somebody says, it's probably Cindy, that California seafood is showing signs of Fukushima waste. Oh, Paul. Yeah. Uh-huh. Dude, we only have one planet. We only have one ocean. We're leaking radioactive waste. Massive amounts of radioactive waste have been leaked into the ocean and continue to be leaked into the ocean, and nothing can be done to stop it. Or they don't know what to do to stop it. They can't do anything about it. That's terrifying. I'm trying to see how much of a delay there is. There's probably about a 5-second delay in between what I'm seeing on screen and what I see on my phone. So I got my phone out for comments because I'm screen sharing OBS. That's all I'm doing because I can't share from OBS. I can't figure out how to do it. If anybody out there watches these videos and is a teacher, a teaching type of person, teach me how to use OBS properly if you know. Because I'd love to be able to stream it and make it the way it's supposed to look and so it can look clean. And then I also need to get another import, another USB import on my laptop, or an extender or an adapter that gives you extra imports, because I want to be able to use my mouse and my high def camera at the same time. This is just my laptop camera right now. I'd like to use my high def camera. My son gave me this really cool high def camera, but I can't use it right now. Anyways, what's something else I wrote down? Fukushima was one. Speaking of nuclear waste, I saw an interesting video, and I don't know what I think about it yet. I want to watch more stuff on it. But that nuclear weapons are fake. There's no such thing as nuclear weapons. That what we've seen and been shown is just bullshit propaganda. I don't know why it's only showing like 4 pictures. There's like 50 in that playlist. I can't fix it right now. But yeah, so that's interesting. I watch everything. I don't have to agree with it. I like to watch conspiracy videos. And that's interesting. That's an interesting concept. What if nuclear weapons are fake? What if they are? What makes you think that what you know is the truth? You know? Well, there's some new pictures. It's supposed to be on random, but it just kept showing the same picture. That picture's only in there once on a playlist of like 50 pictures. Here we go. Here's some different stuff. Um, Paul says, "Hey, can we do a show about the California wildfires that theorists say was a weapon?" Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'll look into that and do one on that. Absolutely. Because that is very interesting. I don't know if you've seen any of that, but laser weapons. People there's videos that show lasers being used. Uh, you know, a person that doesn't believe that this is possible will tell you right away, "Oh, that could be a doctor video." And you're right. I didn't see it. I wasn't there. But it's pretty compelling videos. I look tired. Like the angle of the lighting's making me look tired. Or my camera needs to be higher or something. I'm not tired. Anyways, let's see if anybody else is talking. Uh, Anybody have an opinion on the nuclear weapons thing? You think it's just ridiculous? It was a decent video. Because if you think about it, you don't have much proof that they exist. You know, like the moon landing, it all happened at one period of time and then it just didn't happen anymore. They say they're doing stuff, but how do you know they're not blowing up large amounts of TNT? Cindy says, "What about the victims of nuclear weapons? You think it's all fake?" No, 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 no. I'm not saying I believe it. I'm just right now I'm throwing out stuff that I've seen or that I've watched and just kicking stuff around to fill time. I don't believe it. It's interesting, is what I'm saying. They're not saying that, and in this theory, they're not saying that Hiroshima didn't happen. They're saying that that wasn't a nuclear weapon. There's 50,000 tons of TNT. I don't believe it. I don't think one way or the other. I mean, mostly I would believe that the nuclear weapons are real. If you ask me what I think, straight out, I was just throwing out a topic. Let's see what I have written down. Oh, in case Steve is here, Steve Wolfbrand, or if he comes by later. I looked at that video on Bill Hicks being Alex Jones. There is some compelling stuff in there. There's some compelling stuff. For those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, there is a conspiracy that legendary comedian, my hero, Bill Hicks, is actually Alex Jones, that he faked his death and became Alex Jones and has been Alex Jones all along. Ever since, the Alex Jones we know right now today is Bill Hicks. It's basically the theory. And it's based on a lot of things. It's based on that they look very similar. They have similar teeth, they have similar hairlines. They have the same management company. They're both from Texas. They do have an age gap, but they try to say that Alex Jones looks older than he actually is, which he kind of does, but that can be from a hard life. You don't know. Anyways, there was a different Alex Jones at one point. This is what is throwing me now. I don't believe the theory. Again, Cindy, this is another one that I don't believe, but we're just kicking around. I don't have to believe it to kick it around. But this is throwing me off because there was a different guy that had a ranting political radio show, at least a radio show. They show a video of him, and he calls himself Alex Jones, and he looks nothing like the Alex Jones that we know, or even the Alex Jones from then. They show videos of Alex Jones from then. It's a different dude. So that's weird. That's interesting. And I don't got nothing for that. But Steve was asking me what I got for that. Nothing. I just think it's bullshit, man, because Alex Jones isn't funny. That's what I keep coming back to on it. I can't believe it because Alex Jones isn't funny. You know, not to mention how different they are ideologically. They're polar opposites ideologically. Bill Hicks was all about love and the truth and spreading knowledge and loving people and sharing love. Bill Hicks isn't about those things. Bill Hicks is about um, the Illuminati and disinformation and misdirection and not about truth. You know, he's masquerading as truth, but he's controlled opposition. Bill Hicks, I just, unless I don't, that's why they tell you not to meet your heroes. Because what I was about to say was, unless I don't have any idea what Bill Hicks is really like, because I can only base it on all of his comedy and everything I've seen about him or heard about him from people that knew him. You know, because I was lucky enough to actually get to meet not Dwight Slade, but Dwight Slade's manager. And Dwight Slade was a childhood friend of Bill Hicks. So I've heard, you know, I've had the opportunity to hear some decent stories. And from what I've heard and what I've seen and what I've read and what I've knew of the man, I just can't believe that he's Alex Jones. It would be a very, very, very mind-blowing story if it ever came out as truth. But that is one where you'd have to come out as truth. I would have to see Dwight Slade come out and say it, that he knew all along, because I doubt that Bill would become Alex Jones and push family. You know, that's some Andy Kaufman type shit. All right, let's see. Paul, I think, says Bill Hicks did a skit called Alec Jones, and was a crazy news anchor, and he sounded just like him. I've seen that, and you're right. He sounded a lot like him. I don't think he sounded just like him. Alex is a little more gravelly, and his cadence is a little bit different. But again, it could have been the very beginning of the skit, very beginnings of the character. Like you say, his name was Alec. So it could very well be that he morphed and transformed into. I only got one cigarette left. I better save that. That he transformed into another character. I don't know what time I started. Like 7:40. It's 8:15 now, so that means I've been in 35 minutes. So we got time. What else do I have written down? Is anybody talking? Let's see here. Paul says, look up John Cotner. Priscilla Presley said in an interview that John was Elvis. Huh. I'm going to look that up. I like Elvis. Even though my first marriage, Elvis married us. And I should hold a grudge for that, but I don't. I hired him. I knew what I was getting into. It ain't his fault. He just took the check and did what I asked him to do. It's not his fault she was the devil. He didn't know. I was disappointed in him, though. Like, because I seriously did get married in Vegas by an Elvis impersonator in my first wedding. But I was disappointed in the Elvis impersonator because when, you know, I'm up there with him and she's going to walk up, he's singing, right? He's lip syncing. I was so fucking bummed out. I'm like, dude, you had his credits included being on the Tonight Show, like all kinds of shit. He was supposed to be a big deal. And he's lip syncing. He lip synced all 3 songs that he sang. I was so disappointed. Paul says John Cotner was 2 rows behind Obama at his inaugural speech. Huh. I'm going to have to look that up. I'm definitely going to look that up, Paul. Thank you for bringing that up. That's interesting. I love new and interesting things. If anybody wants to comment something, this is nothing to do with this. I know I'm talking, but I'm just filling time till I see something interesting in the comments to grab hold of. So anytime you want to comment, sorry, that would help me tremendously. Because I've still got like a half hour to fill. But let's see here. The Mars rover. I wrote that down. Do you guys believe that there's a Mars rover? That there's a rover on Mars? I'm going to wait a minute before I tell you what I think. No, dude, I will. I'm going to write it down. John, I'll write it down right now. I'm going to look that up right after this. And I'm going to go get cigarettes. But all right, so what was I talking about? Oh, I think I was looking for something else to talk about. But anyways, that Alex Jones thing, man, that would crush me. Not to go back and redrudge that. I think we just finished up that topic. I hope we finish it up anyway. I got distracted. But that would bug the shit out of me to find out that my hero was actually Alex Jones. Because if it's a skit, I don't think it's up to his level. I don't think it's not what I would expect from Bill Hicks as a lifelong skit. Unless he just wasn't really who I thought he was, and Alex Jones is who he really was, and he changed and wanted to be comfortable in his own body, and that's what he decided to do. Who the fuck knows? The video I saw implied that he works as a CIA asset. Man, I'd be crushed. I would be devastated. That's my hero. Is that Paul? Mars rover is BS? I think so too. I think so too. I think that's complete horseshit. That there's a rover on Mars and we're controlling it from Earth and getting images from it. No, we're not. That is horseshit. I'm sorry I'm cussing, but this is the late show. This is what? 8:20 Eastern Standard Time? We can get a little rougher during the late show. I did an early show. I cussed on that one too though. But that was for I guess I got nothing here. I just cuss sometimes. I get emotional and I cuss. I hope it doesn't bother you. I don't think it does. I think most people are comfortable with it. I don't know if you've noticed this because they're not really random and randomly generating, but these pictures over here, some of them I have ads for my old shows that I used to do. While I have some people here, there's 3 people here now. What kind of shows would you guys like? I mean, did you like the shows I was doing, like Yankee Show, where it was news and my opinion on shit, and then the Rant Show, where I would rant on a topic, and then we'd talk afterwards? Did you like those? You want something like that again? I mean, I mostly want to know what you guys are interested in. I feel like I went overboard last time. Last time I had 3 shows on Facebook and I had a podcast, and I overwhelmed myself. That ain't all of what happened, but I did put too much on myself. I would do them the same way that I'm doing this. There would be no schedule. It would be whenever I felt like doing it. And today I felt like doing 2. I might not feel like doing another one for 2 weeks. And that's going to be okay. That's how I'm going to do it this time. That's the way I want to do it. Oh, yeah. We can't get Channel 4 in, but we can operate a rover on Mars. Exactly. I can't make a cell phone call from where I live. From right where I live, I'm in a valley, so I can't make a cell phone call. But we're communicating and driving around a rover on Mars. Taking pictures. Believe that shit? I don't. I think NASA is a bunch of liars. I think NASA is a money laundering and money generating pit that puts out propaganda. And if they're not, they have no reason to be shocked that people think that they are, because they operate in a shady way. And I don't think there's anything wrong with saying that. That at least cannot be disputed. They've done some shady shit. Because if they actually went to the moon, they at least faked the fucking moon footage. So fake footage makes me wonder, brings everything into question. So the footage is at least fake. I think that they faked the whole thing, but the footage is at least fake. There's just too much wrong with it. If anybody's interested, we'll get into it. But there's too much wrong with the moon footage. And I just can't believe anything NASA tells me. And then you got that. That ain't what clouds look like. People tell you that's normal. I don't remember that checkerboard pattern when I was a kid. I've always looked up at the sky a lot. I don't remember that. People say it's normal, though. Nobody seems to notice. Nobody seems to care. George Carlin was such a genius. He was so ahead of his time. He's right. Nobody notices. Nobody cares. We live in the movie they live. That movie was made by John Carpenter a long, long time ago. He was inside, an inside player. People in Hollywood are inside players. People in secret society are inside players. There's people that know more than regular people, and then there's people that know everything. Those are a very select few people. But there are people that know more than the average person. For necessity reasons. Stanley Kubrick was one of those people. He filmed the moon landing footage. I believe it was Stanley Kubrick, at least the first one, probably all of them. I doubt that they would want to use different people. They may have took on some of it themselves. Stanley Kubrick did the first one at least, and he tells you about it in the movie The Shining. He shows you there with symbolism and certain symbolism in the movie. Like the moon is 237,000 miles away. The room is 237. In the book, it's not 237. He changes things. Danny's wearing the Apollo sweater. I could do a video on that, but there's been a really good video done on it already, and I forget the name of it right now, but you can look it up. But look up Stanley Kubrick and the moon landing. You'll find it. And Shining, just cross-reference the three. Well, let's see. We got 3 people here. Anybody that wants to comment, go ahead and comment anything you want to talk about. We're just talking amongst each other right now. Conspiracy Theories and Chill is the name of the show. And we just talk about conspiracy theories and hang out. Let's talk about Seth Rich for a minute. Maybe we should talk about things. We don't hear about Seth Rich enough anymore. That got swept under the rug. You don't hear about it anymore. And if you bring it up, people treat you like you're fucking crazy. I think the man deserves an investigation. I think his family deserves an investigation. I think the American people deserve an explanation. I believe he's the WikiLeaks source. And I believe he was murdered. And I believe the Podesta emails point to the DNC and John Podesta especially. John Podesta had an email in the Podesta releases that said that they made an example of a suspected leaker. That he had no problem with that. No investigation. It's mind-blowing. When you really think about all the bullshit around us, it's mind-blowing that this is considered normal. No one seems to notice. No one seems to care. George Carlin said that, and he was so dead on. No one notices. No one cares. You worry about your little bubble, your own personal problems, and that's it. That's all you concern yourself with. And I get it. That's all most people have time for. But there's scary stuff going on all around us. Evil stuff. And it's allowed to go on because we're so fucking distracted. And we're distracted that way on purpose to keep us dumb and stupid and uninformed. One of the biggest distractions there is getting ready to start up the NFL. Huge distraction. That's why the government was paying to have forced patriotism in the NFL. They paid for the players to be out on the field. The players didn't used to be out on the field at all during the anthem. The NFL paid to have that so they could put on their patriotism shows. Have the jets fly over and the flag ran across the field while all the stars are out there. So people cared. People would watch. The government paid for that. So no one's talking anymore. Man, I must be on during Tim Black. Nobody told me if I was, but I bet I am. I need to start being more careful about that kind of stuff. Anyways, I'm doing a video that's breaking my heart. I'm working on, rather, I should say, a video that's breaking my heart on the Franklin cover up. Are you familiar with the Franklin cover up? It's has to do with child pedophilia and child sex rings and just disgusting things, but it happened, it's real, and it goes all the way up to the Reagan administration, all the way up to Reagan himself. It's worth talking about, it's worth looking into, and it's a real conspiracy. Like I've said before, and I'll say again, conspiracy theorists are not crazy. Conspiracies are real. Conspiracy theorists are the sanest people in the room. But that Franklin cover-up, the research on that, oh my goodness, man. It's these kids, these boys, mostly from Boys Town, girls too, but mostly boys, were prostituted out by this man named Larry King. And it's just disturbing. But there's implications and ties all the way up through the Reagan administration. The mostly Republicans were busted with this. Not that Democrats don't too. Who was that fucking Democrat that was a pedophile that just recently got prison time? Not enough prison time, prison time. Something else we can talk about, because I got to wrap up pretty soon, but I want to talk about at least one more thing before I wrap up. Let's talk about that pedophile ring in Pennsylvania that was run out of Catholic Church. How are people upset over Colin Kaepernick doing a Nike ad and not fucking outraged that a pedophile ring operated out of a Catholic church in Pennsylvania for 70 years, creating thousands of victims, over 1,000 victims, involving 300 molesters? How is that not national news 24/7? I know how it's not. We don't have real media in this country. We have a propaganda machine. And, you know, they're powerful. But the truth needs to get out. And the truth only gets out through things like this. And we're painted as crazy, called conspiracy theorists. But that's a bullshit term. It was invented just to keep people from thinking for themselves. When that man died was when the CIA came up with that term. But as far as who killed Seth Rich, like I already told you, the DNC and Podesta at least, I think Hillary Clinton is as bulletproof as she is, and Bill too, because they are tied in with this cabal that runs our world. John Podesta would be in with that cabal as well as his brother. And let's see, Paul says maybe CK and Nike are the distraction from the Catholic pedo case. Do you think? You might be right. People are fucking stupid. It scares me because as someone that's awake to what's really going on in the world, which is scary enough by itself, but also as a father and one day probably a grandfather, and just a citizen on this earth, what's going on frightens the hell out of me, because most people are so stupid and so brainwashed and so dead to what's actually going on around them. They don't even care. They don't want to know. They're willfully ignorant. And it drives me insane because I have to depend on these people. These people vote. Most of these people don't know what the fuck's going on in the world. They have no idea. They vote, they'll lecture you about who you voted for. They don't even know who Hillary Clinton really is. You ever seen Clockwork Orange? I tried to watch it once. I didn't make it very far. I made it like 10 minutes in. I need to give it another shot. I have a different view of Stanley Kubrick's work now. I like to look for hidden shit in his work now. So I would like to give that another shot. But let's see, is anybody still here? I got one person still here. You got anything you want to talk about before we wrap up? This guy, George Orwell, he could see the future. George Orwell is right about way too much. Way too much for me to be comfortable with. I know that's. I think he could see the future. Look at that moon lander. That thing supposedly landed on the moon with 2 passengers and got them back up off the moon, reconnected with an orbiter to get them back to Earth. They returned safely. That fucking lander that you saw that looks taped together. That's a cool story, bro. Anyways, thank you guys so much for coming by and giving me a second shot here tonight and letting me test out my lighting and audio. I will see you guys on the next Conspiracy Theories and Chill right here from Politics and Stuff.